Hello, everyone. We still have some time before the start of the webinar, but as you're joining, if you could go ahead and fill out that poll or kind of quiz that you see there on your screen, that would just tell me a little bit more about you and who you're joining us with, what industry your main business is in. That would just give me more info on who you are. So that would be great. Again, we still have about 6, 7 minutes here, so plenty of time for you to take that little quiz, and we'll get started here shortly. Thanks for being early. Hello, everyone. I see you are still joining. As you are joining, if you didn't hear before, if you could fill out that questionnaire that you have there on your screen, that would just tell me a little bit more about yourself. I see most of you have already filled it in. I really appreciate that. If you haven't, if you could, that would be great. That again just kind of tells me a little bit more about where you're coming from so I can tailor this to you. I see there's already a question. Is this focused for new people or people who have been in the industry? And the answer is yes, it's for both. So whether you're new or experienced, you'll get a lot out of this webinar. So stick around. There's a lot of good information in here. And if you do have any more questions throughout the presentation, feel free to uh, send them in the chat or message me directly here through the chat. I will get to all of the questions at the end. Since I am the only host, I'll kind of be running through the presentation and then doing the Q&A. But go ahead and send in all the questions that you have, and I'll definitely get to all of them. So here just a couple more minutes and we'll get started. But yeah. All right, it is 3 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. actually where I am, but it is time for the webinar. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, another question that was asked is if this webinar will be recorded, and the answer is also yes. So if you are here, you will get the recording. If you're not here and you're watching the recording, then you're probably on YouTube. This will be posted on our YouTube page. Just go to YouTube, type in Certified Lights, and you'll see this. Give me a couple days to put it together, but it will be sent out to your email. And then if you can't find it in your email, just again, go to YouTube and search Certified Lights, and you'll see this webinar there. Now, thank you everyone for coming today. This is the final installment of Certified Lights 2025 free monthly webinars. We, as you may know, host these every month for most of the year. And this is the final month that we'll be doing it for the 2025 season. Now we'll have more again next year, but this is the last one for the year. So thank you all so much for coming. It makes me very glad to see that so many of you are wanting to upskill yourselves. And I see that most of you or at least a majority of you, the ones that filled out the little questionnaire here at the beginning, are already Holiday Light business owners. So whether you work for a Holiday Light business or own and operate one, it's great to see that a lot of you are already kind of getting the practice in. So again, like I said earlier, this webinar will be great if you are experienced or if you are brand new to the business or are still considering starting a business. You will get a lot out of this. Now, I'll first go a little bit over what Certified Lights is, who we are, kind of give some credibility to the webinar, who I am, and then I'll get into the techniques that we use in our business to upsell and to sell. I'll go through our sales process, and then I'll go through products and processes that we have that are great for upselling, as the title of the webinar states. Now, one last note here at the intro. If you haven't started your business already, it's not too late. We are at the end of October, but it's not too late. It is, however, the time to take action if you're still on the fence about it. Even if you just get 5 homes in, 10 homes in this year, it will be great experience to give it a full send next season. So if you're still considering it, just go ahead and pull the trigger, get started, and Just do your house, install your neighbors' homes, install your friends' homes. It's very easy to just kind of get some houses in your books and get some experience. And then next year you'll have the experience, you'll be more confident. You can watch our webinars and join our partnership program, and then kind of just give it a full send next year. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Again, today we're going to be talking primarily about upselling techniques, although again, I will go over our sales process. As you can see here on the screen, these are just a few of the many, many projects that we do every year. Two of these here on either side are residential properties. The one on the left is about a $10,000 per year job. The one on the right is about a $50,000 per year job. And then the one in the middle is 6 figures per year. It is a commercial property. So if you are at the level where you are starting to get into commercial, you can also get a lot out of this webinar because I'll be talking a little bit about that. Because like you see there, you can land some pretty big contracts. We are based in the DFW area, and we install the holiday lighting decor for both of the international airports in our area. So Dallas Love Field, the one you see on the screen, and the DFW airport. They're both our customers and have been for some time. And they're great, but you need to have the experience, you need to have the insurance, you need to have all the requirements that's needed to be able to take on jobs like that. So I won't talk so much about that side of things, as a lot of you, per the questionnaire, are kind of lower year experience installers. But if you do have any questions throughout any of this, send it in the chat, send it in the Q&A section, and I will get to all of them at the end. Now, a little bit of an introduction here about me and about the company. My name is Mateo Young. I am the Director of Business Development at Certified Lights. That's me with Scott Young, the owner, president, and founder of the company in China. Last year, we were visiting some of our factories to do quality insurance inspections, to talk about new product developments and that kind of thing. So that is me. I have been with Certified Lights for a long, long time. I worked part-time before, while I was in college and high school and that kind of thing. And then now, of course, I'm full-time here. Certified Lights has been around since 2006. We started off as actually a pest control company, and then we added on Christmas light installs to offset some drops in winter revenues, like a lot of you are doing. I see some of you are in lawn care, some of you are in pest control. Same idea there. We wanted to do something to keep our crews busy during the winter season. And then we sold our pest control company because, well, for many reasons, but now we only have this Christmas light installation company. We also have a distribution and training branch. So we distribute the products that we manufacture and that we use to other installers like everyone here. And we also have a training branch. So we have I mentioned earlier, our partnership program. The partnership program is developed around helping new and experienced installers to grow their company sustainably. Now, when I say sustainably, I don't only mean environmentally sustainable. I also mean sustainable in the sense that you will be ready to handle the growth that you see if you follow the programs that we've created for you, the programs and the processes that we've created for you. So a lot of times people kind of just go all in on marketing and they get tons of leads, tons of leads, tons of leads, but they don't know what to do with them. They can't handle all those leads. They don't have the resources. They don't have the product. They don't have the manpower. They don't have the insurance. They don't have the trucks or whatever, the equipment. So we've developed a program specifically designed to make sure that you have everything you need to handle that level of growth that you should see if you follow the steps, the processes, the everything that we've developed for you. Part of the partnership program includes a lot of different programs like access to our affiliate partnerships where you get discounts on leads, discounts on products, discounts on marketing, discounts on SEO and insurance and all insurance help and all kinds of things like that. And then we also have in-house programs like our product advancement program where you sign up for the partnership and then you meet with me or one of our other office staff and you say, hey, I have a goal of installing 10 homes this year or 50 homes this year. And we'll look at your business experience. We'll look at kind of your business experience, your experience running a company, and if we're comfortable advancing you that level of product, then we'll say, hey, great, you have a goal of installing 50 homes. We'll advance you 50 homes worth of product. You pay zero down, 0% interest, and then you pay off the product over 6 weeks starting November. Um, and then anything that you don't use, you just send back to us and we'll either refund it to you if you've already paid for it, or you just kind of don't pay for it if you haven't already paid for it. This helps experienced and new installers because instead of having to pay $10,000 up front for your product, like you would have to do without our programs, and I guarantee you, none of the other distributors have a program like this. I constantly look, but it's really not something that's around in the industry. I think we're the only ones doing it right now. So instead of having to pay those $10,000 up front for your product and spend $10,000 on marketing, you can just spend $10,000 on marketing and already have that product in stock. So you can just start right out of the gate as soon as you get leads in, start installing, and then you of course pay off the product as you use it after you get the cash flow that we recommend you get with the half down deposits for any job. And then that way you're not $20,000 in the hole starting off. You're really just the investment, the barrier to entry or the barrier to grow your business is really reduced by thousands of thousands of dollars through these programs that we've developed. So that's who we are. Now, jumping kind of right into the meat of the presentation, our sales process. Now, I thought this was kind of going to be more spaced out, so it would be kind of easier, but here all is. This is essentially our sales process. High level, we first acquire the lead. Nowadays, we don't really pay much for marketing because we've become so well established in our market that word of mouth kind of does all the marketing for us. But any way you acquire a lead, whether you pay for it or you put yard signs out or you do Facebook marketing or whatever, that's step one, is acquiring the lead. The next step is following up. That is the biggest mistake that people make, is not following up. If you call someone 3 times and they haven't answered, call a fourth, call a fifth, call a sixth, call a 10th time until they say no. A no doesn't mean a no. A no this year doesn't mean a no for next year. So if they say no this year, that doesn't mean stop following up. Say, okay, thank you. I'll reach out next year around August or October even. That's a bit late, but around August, and see if you have any need for our services next year. Thank you so much for taking my call. Something like that. But be persistent. This is your business. This is something that you should want to grow. So you should be doing everything you can, especially if it's free, like a phone call, to land customers that you know you want to land. So that's the first thing, is acquiring leads and then following up. Using a really good CRM tool to follow up with leads and to track the leads that you followed up with is essential, especially like I was mentioning earlier. If you want to have sustainable growth, I guarantee you will not remember the 50th call you make to someone, or the 50th call you make, period. If you have 50 different leads and you call all of them, I guarantee that you will not remember call number 35 and what you said to them or what they said to you. So having a really good CRM tool where you can log each call, each note that you have from a call, each email, that's going to pay off in dividends in the long run because you are going to be organized. So when you start to get hundreds of leads in whether it's through our affiliates that help you get leads or leads on your own. Um, you will be able to keep track of everything. And then as your office staff grows, then you have processes in place so they can keep up with the leads that you've created or that you've reached out to, and they don't have to call you to ask for information about a lead. They can just look in the CRM system and and then kind of figure it out themselves, you know. Now, step number 4, again, high level, is sending bids. So sending bids, all throughout the process, you want to show the customer value. From the first phone call, the first interaction they have with you, you have to show them value because we at least target higher end zip codes, higher end customers, because we charge for a premium service. We charge for a white glove service. You call us, tell us what you want, and that's all the customer should have to do. So from the very first interaction to the 10th or 50th interaction, you should be providing expertise, professionalism, and again, value. This is kind of where you start to prime the customer for upselling. You're the one that should be suggesting the core. You're the professional. You know what looks good. And most importantly, or maybe not most importantly, but pretty importantly, you know what is most time efficient to install. So a lot of customers might want all of their trees wrapped, but trees, if you are an experienced installer, you know that they are time consuming to say the least. They can be problematic if there's squirrels in your area, if there's birds in your area, if there's children in your area, if there's lawn guys in your area. There will be problems with trees. If your crew is unexperienced, there will be problems with trees. So knowing that, you want to either charge more for trees or you want to charge more in an attempt to kind of persuade your customer or your lead to not ask you to do those trees and then instead upsell them on the products that I'll present to you here and I think in the next slide. But again, my point in saying that is that you are the professional and you're the one that should be suggesting the core because your customer really at the end of the day, they just want lights. They want their house to look good and they don't necessarily know what they're gonna want. And now if they come to you and say, hey, I want a red and white roof line, I want red trees, I want red bushes, and I want white um, outlines, if they have a very specific vision, go with that. Don't say like, hey, that would look great, but what about then push them the direction that they know they don't want to go in. If they have a very specific vision, then of course go with that. And again, show them expertise and professionalism um, and value. But 9 out of 10 times, they're not going to know what they want, and you're the one that's going to be suggesting them. So part of our sales process is to let them know of our minimum value and also to ask for a budget range, not a budget number. If you ask for a budget range, that again is priming the customer to kind of be flexible with how much they're going to pay. You have to remember that you're not installing Christmas lights. You're not installing lights. You're creating an experience for your customers, for your clients. This is something that they're going to bring their family to come see. They might have a tree lighting ceremony. They might have some kind of family tradition where they go outside during Christmas and turn the lights on Christmas at midnight. Something like that. That's a lot of what our customers do. So you are helping them create those memorable experiences. You're not just installing lights. With that in mind, they're gonna be willing to be flexible with what they pay if you sell them on the experience, not just the light bulb. If you sell them on the experience, if you show your professionalism, if you show the value that they're getting for everything, then they're going to be willing to kind of spend a little bit more. It's an emotional holiday. It's an emotional time, and that's great. Now, don't take advantage of them, but if you show that you're worth the two, three, four, $10,000, like we saw here, $50,000, then they're gonna have no problem. You have to convince them that you're worth the $50,000 a year to install Christmas lights, to create the experience for them, for their family, for their guests, for their friends, and everyone else that's gonna see them, see the lights. And then fourth, provide exceptional customer experience. Again, your goal is not a one-time sale. Our customer retention rate is very high. I want to say it's in the 80%. One, because we've been around for a while and we've fine-tuned to the, I want to say to the minute, how long it should take to wrap something, how long it should take to be out on a job site, how long it should take to do everything. We've fine-tuned our entire installation process, um, with the goal of showing, again, expertise, professionalism, and value to the customer. So your goal is shouldn't be, at least if you're trying to grow and have this be sustainable over time, then your goal should be to have long-term customers, because as the old adage goes, it's a lot cheaper to keep your customer than to go out and find a new one. Um, so your professionalism does really matter. We do I think last year we did 1.7 million in install revenue. So and that's mainly from recurring customers and now a lot of those are maybe about a third is from commercial, um, but the rest is residential. And that's just because we show these higher end customers, these customers that own four, five, $10 million houses, that we are at that level as well. We're at the level of knowing how to service that type of customer. Um, Now, if your goal is a one-time sale, then great. That might be your business model. But a little bit of an insight into our business model is a leasing business model. We very rarely, I should say, sell our lights to our customers. We do sell our lights to our distributors, to our partners, to other installers, but we rarely sell our lights to our customers, our installation customers, because that is not something they should be dealing with. Again, like I said earlier, we provide a white glove turnkey service, so they at no point should have to even touch the lights. We uh, render a bid, so we show them digitally what their house is going to look like. We install the lights. We maintain the lights throughout the season, so we do quality assurance. If it's a VIP customer, we'll be out there every day. We'll have someone in the field every single night, just driving by the house, making sure no bulbs are out, making sure that all the bulbs are in a straight line, making sure the trees are wrapped properly, making sure it's on the right timer, stuff like that. And if something is out, they tell the office comes back, the crew comes back the next day, fixes any problems. And then at the end of the season, we take the lights down and store them. And ideally, again, it's not a one-time sale, it's a multi-year contract. So we'll store the lights and keep them very well stored for next year, and then go out and do the same thing. So that is our sales process. Now, like I said, that was very high level, but all the processes that we've created are available to you as a certified lights partner. I know some of you already are a certified lights partner, so just go to the portal and if you're already a partner, I'm sure you're familiar with the portal because we talk about it all the time. That's where uh, a majority of your support system is. But if you're not a partner yet, when you sign up for the partnership program, our partnership portal is where you'll find all of these processes, and it's all in video format as well as downloadable kind of PDFs and stuff when it comes to sales scripts or marketing templates or stuff like that. Um, I redesigned our entire portal earlier this year. So it's in very easily digestible videos, very short form videos, and you can go back to it and reference it 24/7. It's available to you anytime you want it. So it's very easy for your crew as well to go and watch these installation videos, or what the different products are, or how to upsell, how to leverage the sales techniques that we have developed and all that. But anyway, that is our sales process. Now, I want to pause here and remind you, if you have any questions about anything I say throughout this presentation, feel free to send me a chat or send the question in the Q&A, and I will get to all of the questions at the end. I think there's just a couple slides left, so I'll get to the questions here shortly. But if you do have any questions at all, feel free to let me know, and I promise I'll get to it. Now, let's talk about upselling. So you've kind of already seen what our sales process, our sales technique is. That's just to kind of get customers signed up and prime them to be open to building the customer company relationship that we want. So multi-year contracts, budget ranges, not a specific budget, things like that. Letting them know that we are professional, we know what we're doing, we know that when we suggest something that is what's going to look best, it's going to be in their best interest, and it's also going to be in our best interest because we are in the business partly to create that experience for them, but also, of course, we got to pay the bills. So it's going to be in our best interest in that aspect as well. So there are about 5 different upselling techniques that I would recommend, whether you are a first-year installer or a 10-year installer. First one, I've already mentioned it a couple of times, ask for a budget range, not an exact number. When we first make our introduction, our pitch to the customer, we ask them if they're okay with our minimum, which we have a minimum, and what their budget range is. This is especially important for commercial clients. For commercial clients, it depends the type of commercial client that they are. When you get into the realm of commercial clients, you'll see a lot of different things. What if it's a city, or if it's a HOA, or if it's a Chick-fil-A, or if it's a Ford car dealership? They're all kind of going to have different experiences with dealing with Christmas light companies, with landscape light companies, um, with just kind of service companies in general. So they might have kind of different ways that they want to go about doing business with you. But for the most part, everyone's going to have a range. If it's a city or if it's an RFP, like those airport jobs that I talked about earlier, then they're more than likely not going to give you a budget. So you're gonna have to be as competitive as possible while still sticking with the margins that you want to see. For example, we see about a 35% margin, which is phenomenal. Sometimes we reach closer to 40. And again, if you follow the programs and processes that we've created for you, our goal is to help you get to those numbers as well. So you should be seeing something around that once you're kind of more established, year 2, year 3, year 4. Year 1, your margins are going to be a lot lower, but we predict if you follow our programs, our processes, you shouldn't be that much lower, maybe in the 18-15% range, which is still really great, especially for an install company. But as you get more established, you will have a margin. You should have a margin goal in mind, and then everything just kind of works backwards from that. So if you have a bid and you know you want to make 35% margins on it, then you know where you can be competitive, where you can't be competitive, where you can be aggressive with your bids, and where you can't be aggressive with your bids. Now that's mainly for commercial, and that's for commercial jobs that don't give you budgets. When we're talking about residentials, most of the time they're going to have a budget in mind. And if they don't tell you that they have a budget in mind and you present a number to them and they kind of get sticker shock, then you know they have a budget in mind, because there's a line somewhere. If you say this is going to cost $10,000 and they kind of give you that look, then there's going to be a point where they're going to be more comfortable with the number. And that is, I'm kind of jumping around here, but I guess I'll get to that, but that leads me to this multi-year contract point, but I'll get to that. So kind of hold that thought in your head, the sticker shock, and how to kind of avoid sticker shock. And I'll get to that over here. So keep that in mind, but we'll move on to the next one. Is when you're presenting bids, this works for residential and commercial clients. When you're presenting bids and you have the time for it, sometimes when you're really in the thick of it and you don't have time, just kind of present the one in the middle, the better bid. But if you have the time, present good, better, and best bids. This is a sales technique that's taught in business schools a lot. It's not just for holiday light companies, but it's kind of a sales tactic to get people to choose a not super cheap option, but also not a super expensive option, and one that's good for you as a business as well. So the good option is going to be kind of your bare bones installation, um, maybe like $1,000. It's going to get you a roof line. It's going to get you some flower bed outlines and maybe a couple bushes. The better option is going to give you um, everything you see in the good options. So the roof line, flower bed outlines, and then bushes. But it's also going to outline your garage and your driveway. And maybe if there's room in the budget, um, it's going to wrap a tree or something like that. Or maybe instead of a tree, it's going to have a wreath or some greenery, something like that. Some kind of extra little push that's going to be great for the customer, and they're going to feel like they're paying that they're really getting their money's worth. And then the best bid, of course, is kind of going all out, not designing a 20, $30,000 job bid, but still being somewhat reasonable with the um, size of their home, let's say. So if they have a two-story house, the best bid is going to kind of decorate everything, decorate all the windows, decorate all the garages, decorate the roof line, hang wreaths, hang garland, do flower bed outlines, wrap the bushes, and kind of give that best bid. Like for $5,000, I can give you all of this, but I know that might be a bit over budget. So if you give me 3,000 this year, I will we can still have a phenomenal looking house that's going to create envy from your neighbors, and it's still going to look amazing. Now, if that's still a little too high for you, then for 1,500, I can give you a roof line outline, a garage outline, and a window outline, and it's still going to look great. But if we could push for the better, then that's really going to make your house stand out. Something like that would be your sales pitch. Um, but again, you know what is profitable. You know what your margins are. So whether you present a good, better, or best bid, all three or just one, make sure that they all work for you. Don't present a good number that is not going to be profitable for you, because if they end up going with that option, you still have to take that job and take that contract. And if it's not going to be profitable for you, then why would you pitch it? So the better bid is kind of the sweet spot that you want to aim for. If they have a budget range, let's say they say, I have a budget range between $1,000 and $2,000 for this year for my house. What can you offer me? Then the good option would be around maybe 1,400. The better option would be maybe around 1,900, and the best bid would be maybe around 24, 2,500, and say, hey, I know this is a bit over your budget, and then sell them the experience. Remember, it's all about the experience. So the best bid is going to say, I know it's a little bit over your budget, but imagine the experience that you'll create for your kids or for your grandkids, for your family, for your friends, whatever it is that you want to say when you're selling the experience. And if you're a good salesperson, then you could close those bids, even if it's a little bit higher than the budget range that they gave you at the beginning. Third upselling technique, show extra value. All of these little things I've been saying throughout the presentation, like digital rendering, like white glove service, like any color or pattern at no additional cost. Um, and something else I'll suggest in the next one is showing extra value as well. But anything that doesn't cost you a lot of money, but it's going to make them seem like they're getting something for free, is going to be amazing. So, for example, um, the pattern one is a really good one. So typically we suggest as a default warm white lights. So the roof line, the bushes, the trees, the window outlines, anything is going to be in warm white. Now, for let's say you've presented three of these bids, maybe two. It's fine if you just present two. Um, And the good one is kind of just, it's enough. But then the better bid, you can say, I'll give you for this a few $100s more. I'll throw in a wreath, I'll throw in a bow with the wreath, and I'll outline your garage as well. And I'll let you choose any color or any pattern at no extra cost. It's kind of built into the price. So if you don't want this warm white and you want red and green, or if you want blue and white, or whatever, multicolor, then then I'll include that for free, no extra charge. And that's kind of showing them extra value. It's showing them expertise. It's showing them professionalism. You're not just kind of installing out of the back of your truck. You are an established company that can offer these kinds of things at no additional cost. And then if you are an installer and need these extra kind of multicolor lights or red and white light or red and green lights or blue and cool white lights, we as your supplier ideally have all that in stock. So if you need anything that your customer asked for because you said any color or any pattern at no extra cost, and you're like, oh man, they asked for this, but I don't have it. Can you ship me that as part of my PAP order, my product advancement program order? Then we'll say, yeah, no problem. We'll add it to your order. It'll be there in 2 days. Problem solved. Um, and that's kind of another benefit you get from being our partner is we have, because we're so well established, we have multiple warehouses throughout the country. So we can get anything to you pretty much next day if you need it, 2-day, 3-day shipping if you kind of aren't in a rush, and that would be a bit cheaper for you. And then we also have products like pre-bulbed and pre-clipped C9 spools. So what that means, if you aren't familiar with those terms, is typically you have your C9 bulbs, the main bulbs that you use for roof line outlines or garage outlines or window outlines. And then typically you have to buy the clip to put them on the roof line uh, aside, like as an extra product. So then you would have to go and buy all those different products, take them back to your warehouse or your garage or your office or your house, and then unscrew each one of those bowls, put the clip on, and screw the light back on for 250 feet of lights. We do all that for you, again, at no extra cost. So if you were to buy the bulbs, the lights, and the clips separately, it would cost the same as if you bought all that together. You're not going to see that at many other, I've seen a couple other companies do that now, but they don't provide the same quality of materials that we do. And it's going to be a little bit more expensive. So with us, you get everything kind of all in one at the same price as if you were to buy everything separately. So if you're ever in the situation where you did offer your customer a choose any color or pattern at any cost, if you tell us ahead of time, we can do all that for you at no extra cost. Now, fourth, this is the one that I've been kind of building up for, is multi-year contracts. We, like I said, have a goal of not just a one-time sale, not a one-time customer, but a recurring customer. And part of the way to do that, outside of offering extra value and professionalism and all those things, is suggesting multi-year contracts with discounts. So, if you remember here on this first upselling technique that I mentioned, the sticker shock, if you remember that, then something that we do to avoid or kind of help ease that shock that they might see if we're suggesting a $4,000, $5,000 job is discounts. So we'll say, hey, for this job, we typically charge $4,000. But if you sign off on a 3-year contract, we'll give you 15% off per year. So instead of paying $4,000 now, you'll pay, what is that, like $3,200 or something like that now. Um, and then you'll just pay that every year instead of paying us $4,000 every year. And then part of the way we kind of build onto that contract is if you sign up for a 3-year contract today, we'll give you that 15% off. And if next year you uh, change your mind and don't want to do warm white like we are going to do this year, Then next year, just tell us, hey, I love the warm white last year, but this year I want to try red and green. So we'll do that at no extra cost. We'll just keep the same price for you, but we can change the colors of any decorations that we installed previously. Again, totally for free. It's again building and stacking on the extra values that you could offer, that it's not going to cost you very much money, and it's going to show them that you are kind of giving them things for free. People love free things, even if it's not free, if it's already kind of built into the price, but you say it's free, or if you kind of show them that there's extra things you can do for them to make their experience better, then it's a win-win, just like it says there. Um, and there was one other thing I wanted to say about the multi-year contract. Oh, if they choose to cancel, this is kind of more of an insider thing, but if they choose to cancel, we have terms in our contract that kind of allows them to get out of that contract. So it's not super binding, but we do have terms in our contract where if they do want to get out, they can. But if you have questions about that or kind of want to learn more about those terms, it can be found in our partner portal. So if you're already a partner, go to the sales chapter and look for that PDF, the sales template that we provide for you, the bid template, and at the bottom you'll see the terms and conditions. If you want to see that, but you're not a partner, you'll just have to sign up, I guess. But that's the fourth upselling technique that we recommend. And then fifth, last but not least, we split installs into greenery and lights. And this is for a number of reasons. One, this allows us to get more customers on our schedule. So October 1st is the first day of installs for us every year, but we only install lights. So that's good because lights are very um, I don't want to say invisible, but they're not very easy to see during the daytime. So we can go up and install October 1st, and most people won't even notice that they're up. So we can go and knock out all of our lighting jobs before Thanksgiving. And then after Thanksgiving, we go out and start installing greenery because that is very visible. It's green, it's bright, it's thick, luscious greenery, and it also has bows. So big green strands of garland with big bright red bows is not very easily hidden. So we wait until after Thanksgiving for that. But once the lights are up, you can show them like, hey, look, these lights look amazing here. I'm gonna come back and put your garland up in a couple weeks. What if we added an extra wreath? Or what if we added some snowflakes or some light bursts to your trees? Because that's really gonna make everything pop. Now, if you remember at the beginning of the presentation, I said that if you are an experienced installer, you're gonna know that trees are a hassle to install and to keep looking good throughout the season. So instead of suggesting a wrapped tree, you can say, hey, Mr. Jones, Mrs. Jones, instead of wrapping this tree, a more elegant and modern look could be to hang up about a dozen or so, half a dozen or so of these snowflakes. It's going to light up the tree just as well, and it's going to be more unique. So your neighbors or anyone walking by is going to be slightly more impressed because this is not something that every company offers. But we offer it, we have it in stock, and I promise it looks phenomenal. And it does. Look at this picture. I would stop and look at that light, those lights in that house and take pictures of them because I really like the look of that. And then we also sell them in different sizes. So you can, that's kind of another upselling thing is I can put a couple of 5-footers, I could put a couple of 3-footers, and it'll actually look like there's snow, lights of snow lights raining down from the tree. And it's really going to look amazing and complement the lights that are already on the house very well. So things like that. These are some of the products that we have for upselling, particularly for residential. For commercial, you can definitely upsell these, any of these. I actually upsold some of these not too long ago of wreaths because they really look amazing and they're also really durable. So your commercial client or your residential client can reuse them. Now, typically for commercial, depending on the contract, they'll buy them instead of leasing them. And your residential customer won't, or we are very hesitant to do that, to sell our residential clients the product. But if it's a commercial and they insist on buying them, then of course we'll sell it to them. And another kind of upsell to that, or maybe not even an upsell, but another tactic to upsell is that these wreaths, these bows are all UV rated. That's part of why we go every couple of years to China to make sure that the quality of the products that we're selling and that we're installing are top notch. We make sure that they're actually UV rated. We leave them out in the sun all year, and we make sure that they don't change much over time. And and that's how kind of we were able to provide very high quality product. And then through the partnership program, depending on which tier you sign up for, you get 10 or 20% off the entire website year round. So you can kind of maximize the margins that you have on your products when you're selling or leasing them to your clients. So these are, again, just a few of the residential upselling products that I would recommend. For commercial, again, you can suggest all these, but there are a lot more products that we have on our website in stock as well that you can upsell to your commercial clients, like um, giant displays, giant self-standing 3D displays like 8-foot reindeer or 5-foot self-standing snowflakes or walk-through displays or photo ops, stuff like that, that is really more for a commercial property, but very easy to upsell to commercial properties because they have so much foot traffic and it's relatively easy to sell them on the idea of on the experience that they'll create for their customers if they purchase that or lease that from you. So I believe that's it. Now, again, this is all of these webinars that I've hosted the last few months are relatively high level. I know we did go into detail, but they're still relatively high level. If you want to see more in-depth material or more in-depth topics, deep dives on these kinds of things, sign up for our partnership program. It's only, I believe it's $19.95 per month, $19.95 per month. For the silver tier and for the gold tier, I think it's $39.95 per month. So if you sell one of these $3,000, $10,000 jobs, um, that just fully pays for it for years. And the other benefits that you get are really invaluable, like the 20% off discount for all products on every order, the product advancement program. You also get one-on-one calls with me 4 times a month, actually, I think, or anyone else on my team, whether you need help with sales or product purchasing, or if you need help with marketing, or if you need help with SEO, or if you need help with whatever, we're here for you. We grow if you grow. We can't grow without you. So if you sign up, we will give you all the support that you could want. Actually, now looking at it here in this middle picture, this is a commercial job that we did. This is an example of one of the commercial displays that you could upsell. You see this Merry Christmas with these little designs and stars at the side. That is a giant, probably about a 20-foot LED display that you can upsell to these kinds of communities. This might be a library, if I remember correctly. And then you can say here at this entrance, we can put up these snowflakes, but what would really tie everything together would be this really wonderful Merry Christmas walkthrough display, that kind of thing. But anyway, it's time for the Q&A. So I see a lot of you have questions, and I promise I will get to all of them. So I will get to all of them right now. But if you want to go ahead and take a screenshot of this slide, feel free to. My email is right there, Mateo Young @certifiedlights.com. If you have any questions, I would be happy to get on a call with you sometime this week. I know it's already Thursday, but I do work weekends as well. So if you have time this weekend, I'd be happy to hop on a call and talk about how we can help you scale your business or even start your business. Um, but let me go ahead and start with the questions. So, will you send the recording? Yes, I will be sending this recording out. Give me a couple days, but it will be sent to your email, and then it will also be on Certified Lights YouTube page. So if you go to youtube.com and search Certified Lights, you'll see this upselling webinar, upselling techniques webinar there on our page. Next question, for installation, do you recommend we rent a cherry lift, hire a 2 to 4 person crew to help, or to DIY with 1 to 2 employees? Um, it really depends on the installation, Carl. I'm not sure which kind of installation you're talking about. If it's for something like, here, I'll just kind of stick with this picture. If it's something like this one here, a ladder is fine. You don't need a lift for that. If it's something like this one here in the middle, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but if it's something like this one in the middle, um, a lift would definitely be helpful and make your time go by faster during the install. And then, of course, you would price that into the quote, and you would tell the customer, say, hey, this is since this is more of a bigger job, this is probably 20, 30 feet high for the safety of my employees and for the efficiency of the installation and any maintenance that may need to be done. I will be needing to rent one of these lifts, so that is priced into the bid. And just be transparent with them. If they don't ask, you don't always have to tell, because it's fairly obvious for these commercial properties. They know most of the time their service people will be needing lifts, so that's usually already priced. They're used to that already being priced into the contract. Carl, again, it really depends for the type of job that you're doing. Most jobs don't need a lift. So if you can avoid them, avoid it, just because they are expensive, but don't risk the safety of your employees to avoid renting a lift. Um, our employees, our installers, are very comfortable on 20-foot, 30-foot ladders because we've trained them extensively on safety. So if your employees, if your installers, if you are comfortable on very high ladders, great. If not, it might be best for safety's sake, for insurance sake, for workers' comp sake, to hire to rent a lift. Now we do have an entire safety chapter on the portal. So if you are a partner already, I'm not sure, Carl, if you are or not, but there's an entire safety chapter, again, with videos and all that. So go ahead and watch that, and you can kind of see when we would recommend a lift and when we wouldn't, depending on the type of job. And then the second part of your question, we only use 2-person crews, unless it's an airport job or something like this at the very beginning. Something like this, we use a bigger crew, but 9 out of 10 times, our crews are just 2-person crews. Over the 19 years that we've been in the business, we've experimented with 3-person crews, 4-person crews, 1-person crews, and we've really narrowed it down to 2-person crews being the most efficient and really the most motivating for the crews for them to finish jobs faster with the same level of quality that we expect them to install at, so that one, we can make our margin goals and that they can make more money during the season. So typically we only do 2-person jobs. 9 out of 10, maybe even like 9.9 out of 10 times, we only do 2-person crews for most jobs. How do you respond to customers who ask about permanent lighting when they reach out? How do you convert them to a lease model? Great question. We actually do both. So during the off season, during the non-Christmas light um, season, we install landscape lighting and permanent lighting, and we also do event lighting. And then we also do kind of the trainings and stuff. We have trainings twice a year, but for the service side of the business, we do install permanent lights. So it's not, you can sell them on the idea that permanent lights, or they might already have the idea in their head that permanent lights can replace Christmas lights, but in reality, it can only replace roof lights. Now, our landscape lighting products also have the RGB function, so you can pair the permanent light roof line lights with the landscape lighting lights and kind of get a similar effect, but there's really nothing that compares to mini lights on bushes or snowflakes on trees or garland around doors and bows and wreaths. So if you're wanting to do both, that's great. And if you can do both, that's fantastic. I would recommend doing both because, again, if you can kind of sell that perspective to the customer that they're separate, they can overlap, but they're always going to be separate products. Permanent lights is always going to be different than Christmas lights because it doesn't create the same effect. When you look at permanent lights, you don't think it's Christmas, even if they're red and white or red and green. Christmas lights just have this thing about them that make you feel like it's Christmas. If you look at the store right here, that makes you feel like Christmas. But if you have permanent lights just wrapped around the doorway, that's not going to make you feel like Christmas. So if you can kind of, again, change their perspective or kind of inform them about the different uses for permanent lights versus Christmas lights versus landscape lights, then that's gonna be what I would suggest for that kind of conversation with that customer. Next question, how much do you propose to drop the customer's cost at year two and beyond? Great question. 15%. We have a 15% discount per year. So if a 1 year contract would typically be $1,000, 15% off $150 would be $850. That would be what they pay for the entire, well, per year of uh, the entire term of the contract. So if it's a 3 year contract, they wouldn't pay $1,000 each year. They'd pay $850 each year. Period. The price doesn't change. And that's one of the that might not be uh, what maybe the answer that you're looking for, but that's the answer. We don't change the price of the contract of the yearly invoice that the customer receives up or down. Um, it can go up again if you upsell them, if you kind of use these tactics and then you are able to upsell them. But that's one of the things that uh, that's one of the tactics that we use to sign customers on a 3 year contract. Because if some customer is kind of leaning towards 1 year, then we can say, hey, that's totally fine. You can pay $1,000 for this job this year. But if you love our work, if you love our products, and you want to come back to us next year, I cannot guarantee you that this will still be $1,000 job next year. It might be $1,200. Our product costs might go up, inflation might go up, whatever labor costs might go up, insurance costs might go up, whatever it is. I cannot guarantee that this job will be $1,000 in December 2026. But if you sign up today for a 3 year contract, not only can I guarantee that it won't be $1,000, I can guarantee you that it'll be $850 for 3 years. So your price will not change at all. Um, so Carl, that's how I would kind of again change the perspective. You're the professional. You're the one that's you're the salesperson. You got to sell the job to again to be a win-win for you and for them. So that's my answer to that. Um, that's a lot for $1,000. Roof lines alone are like $1,000 more. Yeah, that was just an example, Kyle, to kind of go with easy numbers. Our minimum is a $1,500 minimum, and that usually gets you a roof line, um, flower bed outline, and maybe garland and a wreath, something like that, depending on the size of the house, depending on that kind of thing. But But yeah, that whatever I said was just an example. Um, for number's sake, for math's sake, but our minimum can usually get a good, if you can recall, a good, better, best. Our minimum is usually a good. It'll make your house feel like Christmas, but there's nothing that's going to be kind of stellar about. Um, it's going to look good. It's going to be professional. It's going to look great, but it's not going to be kind of this beyond amazing decorations. It's just gonna make your house feel like Christmas. Um, I'd be more than happy to talk about pricing, Kyle, if you have a specific job. What does a pattern mean? So a pattern means red and green, or any color combination that they would want to see on their house is really what a pattern means. So if they say, for example, some patterns have names. So if you have a champagne pattern, that's typically a warm white with a cool white, or a pure white. If you have a candy cane pattern, it's a red with a white, like a cool white, or again, a pure white. So you can kind of use names for these different patterns and create your own and say, hey, what if we do a candy cane pattern this year, and then next year we switch to a champagne pattern, and then the year after that we do some other pattern, and kind of make it seem more refined, more a la carte. Instead of just saying red and green, say a Christmas pattern. If instead of saying red and white, say a candy cane pattern, something like that. But that's what pattern means. Do you have professional photos to send of the upselling products like light up snowflakes that we could leverage for proposals or websites? Yes, of course, Carl, we do. If you are a partner, which again, I'm not sure if you are or not, we have taken, whether it's from our factories or that we've taken in the office, there are professional pictures of all of the products that we offer, just like you see here on the screen, that you can show your customers. And the company that we team up with, one of our affiliates that you get a discount for if you're a partner, has actually added this, or I guess let me say, one of the affiliate I was referring to is an online rendering company. So you'll go and take a picture of the customer's house, and through our affiliate's company online, you upload the picture and then you design their house with whatever pattern you're gonna suggest. So if it's a red and green design, you'll outline the roof line with that. And then because they're our affiliate, they've actually uh, included our specific products, our specific wreaths, our specific bows, our specific snowflakes into their software. So everything that will show up on the render that you send to your customer will be actually what it looks like. Sometimes when you use these rendering companies, they are not going to be exactly what your product is, but because they are our partner, they're our affiliate, and by you becoming our partner, you get access to their software. It's going to be exactly the product that you're going to be installing on there. So yes, we do have professional photos, and we do have a rendering company that you can use at a discounted price for kind of increasing those sales, those closing numbers that you'll see. Do you do performance pay? We do performance pay. We don't do an hourly pay, but we do, yeah, more or less a performance pay. Um, we can talk more about that one-on-one because it does get a little complicated depending on the job. But essentially, yeah, whatever time they spend on the job site, the longer they spend on the job site, the less money they'll get, essentially. So if they spend 30 minutes installing a house like this, but it's a poor install, they have to go back out there, and we're not going to pay them extra to go and fix their mistakes. That's going to increase the time they spend at that job site. So it's going to decrease the amount they get for that job, if that makes sense. Again, send me an email. We can meet, and I'd be more than happy to talk more about that with you, or connect you with our office staff, and they can also help you with that. Do you charge for feet or by house? What do you use for invoice? Great question. We charge per bulb, for the most part. We charge per bulb. Now, it kind of depends. Just because that's how we do it doesn't mean that's how you should do it, because some people use different spacing for their bulbs. We use a 12-inch spacing for our bulbs, whether it's a roof line or a garage outline or window or flower bed outline, whatever it is. If it's not mini lights, we use 12-inch spacing. Most companies nowadays, and we actually recommend using 15-inch spacing. So that's gonna kind of alter the numbers that you use, and I wouldn't go by feet at that point because you're just gonna get confused if you do 15-inch spacing. And maybe you won't get confused, but if as you grow, your salespeople are gonna get confused, your office staff might get confused. So I would recommend charging by the bulb. That more or less goes for mini lights as well. We have an entire chapter on how to price these things out, because with mini lights, they're not inches apart. They're about 4 inches apart. Uh, and at a 33-foot strand with 10 strands per tree or 10 strands per bush, the math gets complicated. So we have equations that we have set up for you through our partner portal. You get access to all those equations. And that kind of answers your second question. What do you use for the invoice? Um, Mainly our CRM tool, but it kind of depends. So for our bidding, we just we have an Excel sheet that calculates everything based off our measurements and based off the design that we've set up for that house. And then we'll put that into the Excel sheet. The Excel sheet will kind of calculate everything, and it'll also give us a line itemized bid that will directly send to the customer. Now, we're not going to send our customer an Excel file. We're going to send them a PDF file that looks polished with our logo, with their name, with our name, with the sales rep name, with our phone number, with their email, all of the kind of the more professional, the value adding stuff that I've talked about this entire time. Um, and that'll be for the bid. So that'll present them the numbers, the line itemized. Here's what the roof line's going to cost. Here's what the trees are going to cost. Here's what the garland and all that's going to cost. And then they're going to have a column for different years if they want different year, a multi-year contract or whatever, with the total at the bottom and then the terms and conditions. But then the actual invoice is going to come from our CRM tool. So we can talk more about that. I don't know, Jose, if you are a partner, you can visit the sales chapter. If you're not a partner, you can sign up. It's I'll send it in the chat here. That is the website for getting more information, not really just to sign up, but just to get more information about what the partnership program offers, the different tiers, and everything that you can get. Jose, if you're not a partner already, highly recommend looking at it, because that's where we have all of the calculations, all the Excel sheets, all the sales scripts, all the email scripts, all the marketing templates. I've personally designed dozens of templates for our partners. So whether you wanted to do a printout like yard signs or door hangers or flyers or postcards, or whether you want to go digital and do Facebook ads or Instagram ads or whatever, I've designed those as well, and they're fully and readily available with pictures of houses that we've designed that we are allowing all of our partners to use at their disposal. So, if you're a 0-year installer or a 1-year installer, you can kind of use our pictures as your own until you start to get your repertoire, your arsenal of pictures that you've installed. You can use ours. Again, if you're a partner. Are the products certified by a safety organization like UL or ETL? Yes, sir, they are. Our products are, that's part of the reason we visit our factories, to make sure that everything that we have are UL rated, and that they are rated not only for, we are in Texas, but not only for the standards that the state of Texas requires, but they're also marked with all the little tags and little information pieces that the state of California requires. So if you're familiar with the state of California, they're kind of the ones that require the most things on products as far as labels and certifications and all that go. So we are compliant with all of those. So if you have customers, if you are from California or any other state that kind of has those requirements, all of our products are, um, whether lighting or not products, they are certified. They are certified. No pun intended. How much per bulb? Great question. I can't remember off the top of my head. I remember last year it came out to about $9.50 per foot. And I know I just got done saying we don't charge per foot, but that's how much it came out to when adding up per bulb. So something around that. Another reason we don't like to go off of a per foot is because then new installers or experienced installers are going to try to hit that one number, and that all varies. If you're familiar with the Dallas area, it can be very affluent. The zip codes that we target, again, are $10 million houses. So our price per foot can be a lot higher than if you are in a town or a small village outside of a big metroplex, or if you're in a community where they aren't used to paying $10,000, $5,000, $3,000 for holiday lighting. Um, part of the way to kind of curb that consumer behavior in your market is to kind of just ex expose them to those prices, because again, you're not selling lights, you're not selling the installation, you're selling an experience. So if year over year you can convince them, you can sell them the experience, then they're going to get more comfortable with paying 8, 9, $10 a foot. But again, you shouldn't go off of the foot, you should go off the number of bulbs that you're using, because that's really what you're paying for when you're purchasing products. Is you're going to pay per bulb, you're not going to pay per foot. When you're buying product, you're gonna pay per bulb. So if you can kind of pass that along and charge per bulb, that's gonna make your math easier when you're doing your P&Ls at the end of the year, at the end of the season, and that's gonna make your margin goals more achievable. Now I believe there's one more question. Oh, I answered that one already. Great. So that looks to be all the questions. If you do have any more, I'll stick around here for a little bit, but that does conclude this webinar. Thank you so much for attending. Again, this is the final webinar of the 2025 season, but that doesn't mean we're going away. If you take a screenshot here, you can send me an email now or December 15th or whatever, with any questions you might have. Again, if you're not a partner already, then it's not too late to sign up, but it is time to take action. So go ahead and use that link that I sent in the chat, certifiedlights.com/partners, or email me at mateoyoung@certifiedlights.com, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you about what tier may work best for you, and how you can sign up for our product advancement program. Nick, this was recorded. A link will be sent here in the next couple of days, probably tomorrow or Saturday, for if you want to rewatch this, or if anyone else wants to rewatch it, you're welcome to do that as well. It'll be sent out. Again, I'll stick around here for a couple more minutes, but that does conclude it. Thank you so much for attending. If you have any questions, I'll be here. Otherwise, thanks for coming. Have a great afternoon. Of course, Braden. Hope it was helpful. For your experience, what works best, signs or digital? Signs, for sure. I do have an affiliate for our partners that specializes in Facebook marketing, and if he takes you on as a client, he can generate a lot of leads. And then we also have another lead, like another affiliate that specializes just in leads. Um, but that's kind of more hiring someone to do it. If you're gonna do it yourself, I would I always recommend a mix, but lean more heavily on the signs because it's going to be much more cost effective if you put out 100 yard signs than if you put out them for the same value of Facebook ads. If you spend $300 on yard signs, you're going to get maybe 150 yard signs. But if you spend $300 on Facebook ads, that might be enough for 2 days, 3 days worth of ads on Facebook. So yard signs definitely are the best bang for your buck. You're gonna have hundreds of them, and and you can really target entrances of neighborhoods that you want to target, or if you want to use that as an upselling technique, that's a great way to do it. So you can tell your customer, hey, I'll take 5% off of your order, off of your cost this year if you let me put this yard sign up on your lawn, um, stuff like that. So I typically recommend leaning more heavily on printout. It's what I call traditional marketing. Um, but if you can do a mix of both, that's great. There are forms of free digital marketing, so you can be sure to create a Facebook page for your company, an Instagram page for your company, and just year over year, week over week during the busy season, make sure you're posting pictures. Make sure you're post pictures of the jobs you've completed, post pictures of you on the roof, post pictures of your crew, post pictures of your trucks. That is free marketing. That's just building your reputation. That's just building your brand identity is kind of the official term for that. Um, so there's ways to kind of get free marketing out of it. But yeah, hope that answers the question. Awesome, Jose. Yeah, email me if you want to learn more. Again, it's not too late, but if you want to sign up for the partnership, the product advancement program, I would definitely sign up for that sooner than later. Hayden, you will get this recording to your email, but it will also be on our YouTube page. So if you go to youtube.com and look up Certified Lights, it'll be on there. Give me a couple days to get uploaded onto the YouTube page. And I guess give me a couple days to get it sent to your email, but I'll make sure you're aware that it's been sent out. So just keep an eye on your email in the next couple of days. You'll get an email from me saying, thanks for attending. Here's the recording of the upselling webinar with a link to the recording. Yeah, of course. No problem. If you have any other questions, just feel free to shoot me an email. You can take a screenshot of this slide here and I'm available. All right. Any other questions? Is product pricing for the partner program different than prices listed on the website for non-partners? Um, I'm a bit confused by your question. Is product pricing for the partner program? Oh, products are discounted for partners. So I think our current price, for example, our current prices for a 25 pack of C9 bulbs is like, I think $26. If you sign up for our silver tier, it's 10% off. Every order you place for any product on our website, including landscape lights. And if you sign up for the gold tier, you get 20% off of any product, every order, including landscape lights. So I think that was your question. The partnership program does give you discounts on all products and every order that you place. The prices you see on the website right now are just kind of the standard retail price that we have for anything we sell. I think that was your question. If not, go ahead and clarify. But Kevin, if that was your question. Okay, great. Yeah, so you can, if you pay, again, I think 39.95, $39. Someone got confused a couple webinars ago and thought I was saying $3,900 per month, which although flattered that they think that's how much our partnership program is valued at, it's $39. So if you pay $39, you get 20% off any order that you place every time you place an order. And if you pay $19 a month, you get 10% off. But again, you can go to certifiedlights.com/partners and you will um, you can see all that info. If you can't find the website or you can't find any pricing or whatever it is that you're looking for, email me, Mateo Young at certifiedlights.com, and I'll be happy to walk through that with you and kind of suggest which tier might be best for you. In all honesty, the gold program is the best one because you also get access. Not only do you get the 20% off, but you also get these one-on-one meetings with anyone on our team. So whether you need a product specialist or our field supervisor is amazing at helping with install questions. He got a call the other day, this week, just I think 2 days ago from one of our partners that was on a roof uh, and couldn't figure out how to kind of run power. You give us a call and we'll be there for you. Instead of having to do it yourself or make a mistake or something. Uh, if you're a gold partner, pick up the phone, give us a call, whether you're on a roof or on a truck or whatever, and that's what we're here for. So that's the one I recommend. But again, your choice. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Okay, got that question answered. Oh. All right. Any other questions? I will say last year we did have a deadline for the product advancement program. I don't think that deadline has passed for this year, but I know it was right around this time last year. So if that is something you're interested in, I highly recommend you email me today or tomorrow and see if you can get signed up. There is a process. It's not a long process, but you do have to fill out a form. Um, because we are advancing you thousands of dollars worth of products. So we just kind of want to make sure that we're comfortable advancing your company that much product. So there is about a 24-hour wait time, and I don't want you to miss that because of a deadline. So if that is something you are interested in, please send me an email. Again, Mateo Young at certifiedlights.com, and I will be happy to make sure that you don't miss that deadline. All right, I'll give it just 1 or 2 more minutes here. If you do have another question, send it now. Or otherwise, again, you can email me. All right. Well, I'm going to call it there. Thank you again, everyone, for joining and sticking around and asking all the questions. That's one of my favorite parts of these webinars is answering all the questions. If you have any more, please reach out to me or anyone on my team, and we will be happy to help and help you succeed and grow in this industry. It's a fun one. Um, yeah, thanks again. Be on the lookout for the email with the recording of this webinar and be on the lookout next year for the continuation of this series. Have a good afternoon.